Hey everyone, it's Mara. I was gonna wait to make this video until after senior year is over, but it's over, so I can make this video. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be giving a pretty honest recap of my senior year. I'm gonna be talking about the good things as well as like the bad things, just all of it, and I'm gonna go month by month. So hopefully this video isn't too long. I mean, it could be longer, but school ended 2 months early. I'm gonna start in summer 2019. Summer 2019 was such a fun summer. I got to go on vacation with my friends. I got to just hang out with a bunch of people. It was really a good, fun summer. But on the other hand, I did have a falling out with one of my best friends since freshman year, and we no longer were friends after that. And then I also, all within the same week, I broke up with my boyfriend who I had been dating for 2.5 years, which was also since freshman year, and that was just kind of a huge blow. But that kind of helped me realize what I really look for in genuine human connections, with friends, with boyfriends, with whatever. And that also helped me realize that I have a great support system. My friends that I do have are absolutely incredible. Moving on to August, the beginning of senior year, that's when the spirit days start, the football games start, softball season started. But at the same time, I was also depressed because for some reason August and January are always the most depressing months of the year. I don't know why, but I'm always just so depressed during those months. I forgot to mention this, a quick funny story. I actually had to film this whole entire video twice because the first time there was no sound. But August, I forgot to mention that I started playing kickball with some of my friends. On Friday nights, we would just go and play kickball if there was an away game for football or something. So we would play kickball at the elementary school that's just down the street from me. It started out as only 4 of us, and then it grew into 16, 17 people, and it became this whole huge thing. And then after we would play a game or two, however, for an hour or however long we were there, we would come back to my house and we would swim and order pizza, and it was just so fun. And again, that's what I was talking about with my super supportive and loving friends. You guys are seriously the best, and I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait until the day where we put together another kickball game. I'm just really excited. But anyway, I just had to say that. I love you guys so much. Okay, continue watching the video. So even though softball started in August, September is when we all became best friends. I love those girls so much, and September is really when we all started bonding so much. At the end of the month, I also went on my first date since the breakup in June, and that was pretty good for me. It was such a fun night. We ended up not really working out after less than a month really, but it was still a really fun night, and that was the best first date I could have possibly asked for, the best date in general I could have possibly asked for. So October is when things start getting really fun. October was homecoming month. I went with a small group. It was 6 people. I went with the same guy I had the first date with, and that was actually such a fun night. We were such the perfect little group to go together. We were all such good friends. We took pictures, we ate somewhere, that was really fun, and then we went to the dance, which was obviously super fun. And then after that, me and my date went to another friend's house to have a party, little sleepover thing, and it was just such a fun night. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. So the next thing that happened in October was the softball state championship tournament. So the softball team made it all the way to the state championship. We went undefeated in the tournament, and when it was time to play the state championship game, it started pouring down rain. It poured. It was raining so much, the fields were flooding, people were having to leave. It was insane. And because we were the higher seeded team, we got to host the state championship game. If you're an athlete, that's literally unheard of, for any sport pretty much. Our student section was huge, half the school came out pretty much, and like a bunch of people from the community came out, and it was incredible, and we won 6-0. I could not have asked for a better end to my softball season, or my softball career, because I don't play softball anymore. Literally the day after the state championship is when I had to start the dive season. Like literally the next day I had practice for dive. Right on November 1st, I went to my first ever concert. As someone who like is really passionate about music and loves singing and has loved singing for pretty much my whole life, you'd think I would have been to a concert by now, like an actual concert, and that's just not the case. like I've just never been to a concert except for this one, and it was incredible. I saw Scotty Sire and Toddy Smith from the Vlog Squad. I like saw their tour, and we were like second row in the pit, and we got to meet them. I went with my friend Samantha, and she said that it was like the best concert she had ever been to. So November, like what, 7th, 6th or 7th is election day, which is, it's always like the first Tuesday of the month or something. And that Monday, we had a senior skip day. I actually had to go to school that morning because I had to lead a rehearsal for chorus, but I left after that. Like I left before school even started. And me and the seniors on the softball team, we went to the World of Coke, and we just like hung out in Atlanta, and then we went out to eat for dinner, and then we had a sleepover, and we'd always been friends, but like that was the first time the 6 of us all hung out, and it was so much fun. Like we've been hanging out ever since, and it was just like that day like started something that became like a really great friendship between the 6 of us. So November is also my birth month. I was born on November 20th, 2001, so it was my 18th birthday, and it was so fun. I had a huge birthday party, and a bunch of people came, and it was just such a great night. So at the very end of November, I made it official with a boy. He was officially my boyfriend. This is not the guy I went on a date with, so we ended up not working out. We started talking in September, like that's kind of when we met, and then we didn't start like hanging out until like November. We were like hanging out almost every day. We were always talking, always on FaceTime, and then we finally made it official at the end of November, and it was the first guy who I could call my boyfriend since the guy I dated for 2.5 years. Now December, let me tell you, a stressful month. So the way our school works is we have all 7 of our classes throughout the whole year. So at the end of first semester, you take your midterm, and if you fail your first semester, then you fail the class. Like you don't get that credit, or that half credit, I guess. I almost failed the class, and if you're a senior and you fail a class, that means you don't graduate. This class was forensic science. I'm not good at science like at all. Like just in general, I was bad at physics, I was bad at biology. Like I'm just not a science person. I had this class 7th period, which was the last period of the day, and for the first half of the semester while I was playing softball, I had to leave early from school to get ready for games and stuff. So at least once or twice a week, I was leaving this class, like not going to it at all some days, to get ready for games, which really hurt me. It's just one of those classes that you need to be there for so that you can actually learn what's going on, and that plus the teaching style was not working with me at all, and it was just a bad combination of things. It just like ended up with me having a super bad grade in this class the whole semester, and it even was down to like a 40 or like a 50 or something. Like it was really bad, and I worked super hard once the softball season ended. I worked my way back up, and I had a 68 by the end of December, and at that point there were only 2 grades left, a project and the midterm. I did really well in the project. I got a 100%, which is the highest you could have gotten. I studied for this midterm for 3 days straight, like 5-6 plus hours every single day, not like more than that probably, trying to learn all this stuff that for the most part I didn't learn to begin with, which made it even harder. I got a 67 on the midterm. after studying for 4 days. And your midterm is like, what, 15-20% of your overall grade, at least for that class. So it was a big deal that I needed to do well on it, and I didn't. I mean, the project still hadn't been like put in the grade book, so I couldn't like go online and see how that affected my grade. So the next day after I took the midterm, I went into school. I went in a little extra early to like talk to a counselor so that I could figure out what I was gonna do, because I knew I was gonna fail this class, but I had to graduate on time. I am walking into the school, like I'm in the parking lot that morning, and I overhear some people talking, and they say, oh my gosh, the teacher put in all the forensics grades. And I was like, I pulled out my phone really fast. I like went and I checked my grade, and I went all the way down to forensics because it was the last one, and it said 70%. I'm a boss. I passed, and I was so happy. I like started crying tears of joy. I went into the school, I was like shouting at the top of my lungs. I was like, I'm gonna graduate. I did work a lot harder this semester in that class, and I got to be in the class more because I didn't have to leave for softball. So I do have, currently right now I have a C, but I'm gonna bring it up to a B because it's like a really high C, so like it's gonna be a B, I promise. After I pass forensics, I get to go to Disney World, and I perform at Disney World with my school chorus. It was absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. I've done it before, like I performed at Disney before, but this time was just so amazing too. January. Here's when it starts to go downhill. Like I said earlier, August and January are the two most depressing months of the year for me. How my years usually go is like January, February, March, nothing happens. There's like no pictures in my camera roll, there's almost nothing on my Snapchat stories. And then in April, things start to pick up and are super fun until August, when things get depressing again. And obviously that's not gonna happen this year, so. It was the end of the dive season. Unlike softball, I'm not good at dive. I went to the county championship, so like I did not go to state or anything. So the end of my season was in late January. February. Let's talk about February. I actually did something fun this month. I got to go to Nashville, Tennessee with my chorus class. Not my whole chorus, but like only my class, because I was in chamber choir, which is the most advanced one, and it's a really small group of people, and only half of us went to the trip anyway, so there was literally 10 people. It was so fun, oh my gosh, because it was 5 girls and 5 boys, and so all 5 of us stayed in a room together, and all 5 of the boys stayed in a room together, and it was so, oh my gosh, it was so fun. That brings me to Valentine's Day. So the boyfriend I got in November, we stayed together for a while, and then when we were celebrating Valentine's Day, he broke up with me, and I was absolutely heartbroken. He didn't like cheat on me or anything, like we didn't get in a big fight, like it just wasn't really gonna work. But I did not see it coming at all, especially not while we were celebrating Valentine's Day. It was like the ground just got ripped out from under me, and I was so sad. It was just weird because the boyfriend I had for 2.5 years, like obviously that was such a sad breakup, but I could kind of see like in the last few months of our relationship that it just wasn't working out. But like with this, like our relationship was just beginning, and I was so excited for the future with him, and then that just went away, and whatever. Like I'm happy it happened, like I'm glad we did break up, because just some things I'm realizing now. Now we go to March. I think we all know where this one's going. I finally just start feeling like myself again. I finally am like picking myself up, moving on, whatever. And then, BAM! COVID-19! All these super fun things were just about to start happening. But I'm not gonna rant about that anymore, because I feel like I did that a lot in my last video, if you want to go watch that. It's not how I thought senior year was gonna end, but that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I really did have a great senior year, despite some like ups and downs and despite how it ended, but I'm just really thankful that I had such an amazing senior year and I had such amazing friends to share it with. But yeah.